Hello and welcome to the Ozzy Award-winning Oswego Sports Update. I'm Josh Kay and Adam. SUNYAC play finally started this past weekend. You know what that means. Playoff push is right around the corner.
And you know it, and I'm Adam Rupsick. Starting off with a bang, count on it, with the show full of Oswego sports hot streaks, a crazy NFL week, and of course, a lot more. Here we go. OSU starts right now.
Sports Update.
One and one. That's how the women's soccer team fared this weekend when they opened up SUNYAC play. The Oswego won a close game 1-0 at New Paltz, but suffered only their third loss of the season with a 4-1 defeat against Oneonta. Adam, the Lakers play their next 4 games at home. How will they do in SUNYAC play?
Well, you know what? They've proved that they have the talent this year. You know, coming out, winning a lot of games early on. 4 straight was their streak until they lost that last game to Oneonta. I like what they have. They're scoring a lot of goals. They have all the tools to get it done. I think 4 straight wins. Maybe they just got a little tired.
Right.
Things kind of got out of control. They got that loss, but they have 4 straight home games coming up. A good chance to get some SUNYAC wins. A good chance to put themselves at the top, near the top of the SUNYAC. I like what I see from them. Yeah,
right now the Lakers are tied for third in SUNYAC, and you know if you break down both of the games that they just had this past weekend, the 1-0 win against New Paltz, 21-7, they won in the shot battle. Then if you flip it around to Oneonta, that game ended up being 15-4 in favor of Oneonta. So you know it really comes down to how's the defense going to play for either team. You know what? I really like the force on D that Oswego has. Dana Pitts and Katie Schultz. I think both of them really bring something. They help Georgia Trainer out on the outside on the defense, and I really like what they're doing. And of course, how could you forget Nikki Liatka? I mean, she leads the SUNYAC in points by far. No one's even close to her, and even in the country, she's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, definitely a candidate for the SUNYAC Player of the Year in that regard. At first, you look at the defense. Their defense is got to be great. All the shutouts they have, right? But then you look, they outshot them 21-7. I mean, they're out shooting. They're having possession of the ball most of the time, so it's hard for the other team to even get in to get shots.
Right.
So it works both ways. The Oswego State men's soccer team, again, has yet to find a win. Another tough loss. From the question as no longer, can they turn it around, Josh? Are they going to get a victory this year?
You know what? I think they will. I think the issues right now are meshing. It's a very young team. I think they've got some good players on offense. Nab, he's there. Sprague, he was the athlete of the week for Oswego. My question is when's the defense going to mesh together? They got a lot of returning guys from last year. Jim Manton comes back. Eric Wadanka, he's back. And when are they going to mesh and really put pressure on the offense to make plays? Not is the defense going to help them out? Is when is the offense going to come? So I think they will. Again, SUNYAC's always a tough conference. There wasn't no easy task when they went down and played New Paltz and Oneonta. So I think so.
They got to adapt. Coming in now, you talked tough opening season. Haven't got a win. They lost a heartbreaker double overtime. I mean, they're out there trying hard. They really are, and there is talent on the team. We know that. They're just not getting wins, and now they're getting the SUNYAC play. There's going to be a lot tougher games going in. They're getting a tough conference schedule, and their next 4 games, unlike the girls' team, are away. So they're going to be on the road trying to get tough SUNYAC wins. It's going to be tough. If they keep working, maybe that hard work will pay off. They get a few wins at the end of the year, but I don't see anything legendary happening.
Not too much. Maybe 2-3 wins. After a very convincing 4-game tournament sweep last weekend, the volleyball team was blanked in the first round of SUNYAC pool play. The Lakers were swept by Oneonta and managed only 1 win per game apiece against Cortland and Potsdam. Okay, Adam, the Lakers currently sit at 11-9 on the season. Can they make a run at postseason play?
I'll tell you what, this team doesn't do themselves any favors. They come in, play great really off the start of the season. Get 500, get pretty even on what they got to do. They go on a win tear, win that whole weekend tournament, play well, and then lose 3 games like this. And it wasn't just like they played tough those games. They lost 3-1, 3-1, 3-0.
Yeah.
So they were getting beat pretty good in those games. So that's tough to see. A team where you thought had it all together, thought they had the pieces, thought they were just starting to get on the roll, and then they go out get beat pretty bad. So, I mean, I think it comes down, they got to keep being consistent. Stephanie Bailey, obviously the top player for this team, but we talked the top 4 under her.
Yeah.
They're all around that 70, 80 point range. They got to keep that going. They got to stick together, all get up into the hundreds with Stephanie Bailey in that point range. They get going, they're going to have good things going for them.
You know, it seems like when she's on, those 4 or 5, the core people that you talked about, really have to play well, and they didn't this weekend. You know, I didn't see a lot out of Sabrina Sutton. I didn't see a lot about their liberos. One thing that I will say, though, is that this team is resilient. They did have a little stretch towards the beginning of the season when they did lose a couple games consecutively, and they're able to bounce back. You know, I'm impressed so far, but, you know, what has to happen is each year they're broken down into 3 SUNYAC pool plays. You got one in the beginning of the season, one in the middle, and then one at the very end. So they have to win a couple of those games to even get in. Last year they were under 500 in SUNYAC play, and they made it. So we'll see what goes on from there.
This team, a new team, they know a lot about adversity, so we'll see what happens towards the end of the season. Well, football occupied the city of Oswego Saturday as the Oswego Bucks football team notched their first win of the year, taking down Fulton on their homecoming 26-19 in overtime. This is a great thing for the community, Josh.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Covering the games for the last 3 years with all the different medias, I've really started to see some development with this team. I've really started to see them come into their own. They're playing good football. It all comes down to Alex Mackin. He's their running back. He's their tailback. He really gets it going. And for them to get this win against Fulton, it's huge for the program. It was homecoming weekend. Everyone was excited, and it was good to be a part of the game.
I tell you what, no better feeling here. It brought me back down memory lane this weekend with that football game going on. High school homecoming doesn't get much better than that. You got football, you know, the whole week leading up to it's big, and right down the road, Fulton's their rival, comes in. They beat them in overtime. The place was nuts. Good for them.
So do you follow your high school football team? Do you check up on scores?
I pull up their schedule here and there to see how, you know, make sure they're doing all right. But
2-2. That's where my team is right now, heading into the last couple of weeks. All right, coming up on Oswego Sports Update, we'll throw some stories up for grabs with our resident golfer, Dan North. Stay with us. OSU.
Malcolm, you know energy savers last 6 times longer than regular bulbs.
This isn't my room. It's Baron Davis's.
The basketball player? This is his room?
I don't live here.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
Down 70-35, and the Cougars were getting smoked like a cheap cigar.
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I am
An American.
I am an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
And welcome back to Oswego Sports Update. Let's throw some topics up for grab with who? The man, the myth, the legend, PGA Tour card, Daniel North. Anything good for us over there, Slick?
If only. Hey, guys. So if you haven't noticed, the Broncos are 4-0, and they're making it look easy as Peyton Manning and company rolled past Philadelphia last night, scoring 52 points. So tell me, who do you think is going to stop this powerhouse of a team?
You know, I could say that I could be complete homie on this one, Adam, and I could go with the New England Patriots. They have to travel up to Foxborough. Week 12, I believe, is when they make the trip out to Boston. Tom Brady has done it before. He knows what he's doing. But I think it's going to be Kansas City. And here's why. Kansas City is a team up and coming. They have a quarterback now. They have the offensive weapons around them. They had 8 Pro Bowlers last year. Not many people knew that, even though they were really low in record-wise. I'm impressed so far with the Broncos, but they're not going to go 6-0. There's no way.
I don't know about that Patriots comment there. I don't think a good Patriots team could beat the Denver Broncos this year. But
are you kidding me?
Going into it, I agree 100%. The Kansas City Chiefs. They got to play the Kansas City Chiefs twice, and one at Arrowhead. A real tough place to play. Kansas City has a great defense, like you said, 8 Pro Bowlers on the whole team. Great defense, and Alex Smith doesn't turn the ball over. And to stop Peyton Manning, you need a great defense, and your offense got to score. So they're going to score. They're going to stop on defense. I think they split with Denver this year.
I'm changing it. I'm going New England. Everyone hates the New England pick. They can do it.
Good.
They can do it. They're going to be healthy. They're going to have Amendola and Gronk. The defense is good.
No, when the Bills beat them in Week 16 to go to the playoffs, we'll talk.
Dan, what do you got?
Well, let's talk about those Kansas City Chiefs. The New York Giants and Kansas City Chiefs went at it yesterday, and Kansas City came out on top 31-7. The Giants fall to 0-4, and the Chiefs quietly move to 4-0. Not only from watching yesterday, but throughout the whole season. Who do you guys think the biggest surprise is? Kansas City's success or the G-Men's struggles?
Well, I'm going to go with the G-Men's struggles. I mean, you come in, you have a 2-time Super Bowl champion playing quarterback for you, part of a best quarterback family ever to live in the Mannings. And you go out there and 0-4, and they're just not getting it done at all. They're not putting together whole games of football. They play one half. Their defense is struggling. Their pass rush is supposed to be one of the best. Is horrible. Eli Manning was throwing passes like a rookie quarterback would throw. It's not looking good. I mean, they're in there. They're fighting. They're playing hard, but they're not getting it done. So they got to figure something else. It's not hard enough.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to disagree with you, but there's no way. I think this Giants team is really struggling. One thing I've noticed is, you know who they're really missing on defense? They're missing OC. OC Umenyiora now with the Atlanta Falcons. They really needed him to stop the run. They're giving up so many yards, and their pass rush, like you mentioned, it's not even there. Eli Manning, he's had to hit ups and downs. I'm not going to put the blame on him. I'm also not going to put it on Coughlin. But 7 points in 2 weeks, you're really not going to get many wins from there. Dan, what do you got?
Switching up a little bit, the AL wild card is getting heated as the Tampa Bay Rays and Texas Rangers face off for the rights to face the Cleveland Indians in the wild card finale. The Rays are up right now in the 5th inning. I believe they might have won the game. Who do you guys got going to face the AL East champs in Boston?
I think we're going to agree on this one, Adam, and I'll lead the charge on this point. I like the Cleveland Indians. First of all, they don't have to play this second wild card game. They get to relax. They get to watch the pitching matchups. If Tampa won, they used up David Price, who they're going to throw. Matt Moore, he's good, but I don't think he's got enough stuff to beat this high-powered offense. They went out and they signed Drew Stubbs. They went out and signed Nick Swisher. They went out and signed Michael Bourne. They've got the pitching. They have some opportunities to really put some pressure on the Red Sox.
And it looks like Tampa is going to get that spot. They're up 5-2 at the bottom of the ninth, as Dan alluded to earlier. But I definitely agree. The Cleveland Indians, I said it last week's show, I'm taking them to the World Series. Definitely take them to Boston. I like what they have. It's a new look in Cleveland. Go Tribe.
You know what? How about Jason Giambi? The Giambino, he's still playing.
That was a great comeback.
What a walk-off he's had. And I'm excited for it. Wouldn't this be a star-studded matchup? Terry Francona goes back into Boston, the place where they let him go. Beats them and heads to the AL Championship Series.
Gotta
love it. Could happen. We love baseball. Dan, what do you got?
Wouldn't that be something? The NHL is coming up quick, and fans seem to be pretty excited that they're going to have a full season of hockey. Adam, what do you got going into the NHL season coming up?
Well, looking at it, a lot of good teams coming back with that short season. You really didn't get the full aspect of what teams could be. Maybe more injuries, or they could have gotten better as it went on. But looking into it, I'd say 2 right off the bat. Saying right before the season starts, San Jose Sharks out of the West. Really like them. And then got to go with the Buffalo Sabres of the East. You got their young talent, great prospect class. Miller and Enderoth are going to be in the net. They're going to be good.
You left me speechless. I don't know why you went with the Bills, but I do like San Jose. We're green a lot tonight. My only question with them is Antti Niemi. How is he going to be in goal? Can he carry this team? They've got some scorers. Joe Thornton, Tyler Kennedy. They can put some pressure on the Blackhawks and the Blues as well. And over in the East, I'm still speechless. I don't even think Ryan Miller and Thomas Vanek are going to be on the Sabres halfway through the season. I'm a Sabres fan, and I'm saying that. I like Boston again. I think the core guys that they have, they're ready. You know, they lost last year. Heartbreaker, weren't ready for it. I think on the big stage, they can get it done this year.
We'll see.
All right, thanks, Dan. Don't let that lead go. We'll come back to you on the 18th hole. Up next, we'll catch up with our athlete of the week. Stay tuned.
My first week home was great. We had a party.
2 o'clock in the morning, they were waiting for me.
My niece was waiting for me at the airport with a sign.
There was a huge sign across my front house, and it said, "Welcome home, Megan."
They lifted me up on their shoulders, and first week back, people just said thank you.
A new generation of veterans is coming home. Make a difference for them at welcomebackveterans.org.
There's a lot of talk out on the street about his mother, your mother, their mother. But in the end, is anyone really even thinking about them?
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
Sports Update. Adam and I are now, welcome back to Oswego Sports Update. Adam and I are now joined by Chris Timmins. Chris is a dual sport athlete. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Now, you play, we were talking before, you play soccer and you're on the club hockey team. How's that balance, trying to balance both sports?
It's been definitely interesting. Time management's been a key, but, soccer, it's a short season. We started a little earlier, came up for preseason, got me a little prepared for hockey season coming in. Hockey's just starting off, so right now it's here and there, but usually soccer practice ends at 6 o'clock and then back on the ice for hockey.
Wow, that is something I don't think I could do. Coming in, you played club hockey now your whole time at Oswego for Oswego State. What inspired you to walk on with the soccer team this year?
It's actually a good friend of mine, Brendan Biesner. I played soccer with him a long time ago, couldn't even tell you, but I played with him in West Isle for a little bit, and they said they might need a goaltender, and decided to strap on the pads after 6 years. So it's been nice. It's a little rusty, but you know what? I'm getting back in shape.
So you had your first career start in goal this past weekend, I believe. How was that for you? What was that experience like?
It was great being back on the pitch and everything. Just being back in between the pipes, just getting used to getting that feeling again, being able to communicate with the team, knowing when to shift and everything. It's a great bunch of guys, and they really have strung it along for me to get back in shape. So it was a great game, even though unfortunately we lost in double overtime, but it was great to be back in that.
So you got the soccer. Oswego Club is a Division One, right? You play against other club schools of that level. Had your first couple games this weekend. Why don't you tell a little bit about those and maybe a preview for the team this year?
Absolutely. I mean, we got a great team this year. Out of my I've been here for 5 years playing on the team. This is going to be my 4th year coming up. Probably the best team this year by far. We got some great rookies coming in. We have 16 rookies, just great, talented kids. Past weekend, we played John Carroll, one of the top-ranked national teams, beating Ohio State. Unfortunately, we lost 4-1 with an empty net goal at the end, but we came back the next day against Mercyhurst, another top-ranked team, and we beat them in a shootout and won the Laker Cup for the first time in 5 years. So it was great, especially starting off my last year here, just winning that cup.
I think our creator, Brian Tosti, would love to hear all of that stuff going on with the club hockey team. Now, let's talk about you off the ice and off the pitch. What are some things that you like to do?
For me, it's pretty busy, especially with grad school here. I'm doing the 5-year accounting program, so that's another thing on top of everything else. But I like to go to the gym. I'm also a personal trainer here on campus, so I like to do that in my spare time. Whenever I have spare time, especially with soccer and hockey, it's hard to find. But besides that, just enjoying my last year here and just taking it all in as I can. So I'm trying to do as much as I can before I have to leave.
I'd say you're living it to the fullest right now, if you will. Just to get you out of here, last question. With the two sports, being a grad student coming in, really focus on soccer now. You're a grad student, so even though this is your first time on the soccer team, are you still looked at as like a leader, being a goalie and a grad student?
Oh, absolutely. I got guys coming up to me telling me I'm 25, 26 years old. Meanwhile, I'm only 21. But no, it's been great, especially with our freshman goaltender, John. I've been able to bring a little bit of leadership, especially from ice hockey. Being a captain there, I brought it back onto soccer. Basically the same thing, but it's been great just guiding these young freshmen on the soccer team, so we'll be good.
Well, Chris, we thank you so much for joining us. It's always good to get a unique perspective from a dual sport athlete. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, coming up on Oswego Sports Update, Dan will stick around and give us some patients who need our help. This is OSU.
I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP 10, your television station.
Attention students and faculty. Avery Rental Properties is now renting for the next school year. Avery accommodates all group sizes, small or large. Avery Rental Properties. Make our house your home. 24-hour maintenance, garbage removal, snow removal, and off-street parking. Avery Rental Properties. 315-343-5005.
Welcome back. Hey, Dan, how you doing over there? Who else needs our expert help?
Doing pretty good. NCAA football is getting going here in the 6th week, and USC is the big story, and not quite for the right reasons. The Trojans fired head coach Lane Kiffin as they look for a change during the midseason. What do you guys make of USC moving forward here?
Okay, so for most people who don't know the full story, Lane Kiffin, after the 62-41 loss to Arizona State this past weekend, was fired at around 2:30 in the morning. The AD, Pat Hayden, he talked about how it was a culmination of things. It wasn't just one thing that let him go. There's never a good time to fire a guy. So the process, you know, I don't think Lane was doing that terrible of a job this year, but certainly a 3-2 USC, that's not what I'm expected to see.
I mean, there's expectations for a program like this, an elite program in the NCAA. USC used to be prime time, you know, back with the Reggie Bushes and the Matt Liners and the Mark Sanchez's. Used to be a dynasty in college football, and now they're not as much. So they're under the microscope, and I think they should be. Once you reach that dynasty title, you should be able to stay there. And so with that, I think they really need to look at getting back to primetime, whatever they need to do, whether it's bringing in recruits, bringing in a primetime coach. Jack Del Rio is on the block for that coaching spot. So bringing in an NFL-style guy, bringing in some good recruits, get back to that dynasty level. That's what they need to do.
Take away Jack Del Rio, Patriots have a better chance to beat the Broncos. Dan, what do you got?
Well, the G-men aren't the only surprise team that's struggling to start this year, as the Pittsburgh Steelers are 0-4 coming off of a loss against the Minnesota Vikings. They do have a bye week they do have a bye this upcoming week, though. Guys, what do the Steelers need to do to get back to their old ways?
Well, there's a thing in football, Josh, and it protects the quarterback. It's called the offensive line. And the Pittsburgh Steelers seem not to have one this year. Absolutely horrid. Ben Roethlisberger, solid quarterback, plays well, but he needs some time back there to throw the ball. Doesn't have the receiving core he used to have. He's got to make more things happen. The rushing game isn't where it needs to be, so that line really needs to really step up. And the defense, always decent, got playmakers on there. They got to get back to their elite Steel City defensive side, and the line needs to block better.
You know what I'm surprised about is their defense. Their defense has, I believe, maybe they have one if they had a turnover in last week's game against Minnesota. They have 0 turnovers against a lot of teams that they need to beat. And we always talk about, when we talk about the AFC North, is it's a hard-hitting, defensive-styled division, and I haven't seen that from the Steelers. Now, they did get Le'Veon Bell back. He had 2 touchdowns against Minnesota in London, and they have a weak spot of their schedule coming up, so they can win games. Let me ask you this: over under 5 wins for the Steelers this year?
Oh, over. I think it's a winning city, a winning tradition. I think they'll find their role. They'll get wins, nothing crazy, but definitely over 5.
Daniel.
Moving to the bright lights, the New York Yankees season is finally over, and moving forward, they do have some decisions to make, as star second baseman Robinson Cano wants a big-time deal. With everything going on with the Yankees organization, including A-Rod, what do you guys make of the Yankees in the future?
Well, let's first talk about 2 of the guys that they lost this year. They lost Andy Pettitte. They lost Mariano Rivera, arguably 2 of the greatest pitchers the Yankees have ever had, and 2 of the greatest pitchers in the game. So that's something you have to fill. Who's going to close? Is it going to be David Robertson? Are they going to re-sign Jabba? Or are they going to go look out on the market like they did when they picked up Soriano? And when they're starting pitching, they've got some young arms, but I don't really know. I think they have to go out in the free agent market, and if not, they have to build from a depleted farm system.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have written down. They need prospects. They need primetime prospects. Everyone's getting to that old age on the Yankees, either retiring. Derek Jeter's going to be there soon. A lot of players on that were once stars, still are, but they're up in their years. They need to start building some really young talent, some good prospects through the farm system. Maybe a few years they're not going to be elite, winning, but building that young talent, getting it going. Who knows? Maybe George Girardi. There's talks of him going to the Cubs.
Yeah, and I think Joe stays. I think he's done enough. But they did look with Robinson Cano, as we saw in those graphics. $310 million for 10 years. They have to pay him. They have to build somewhere, and it's going to start with Cano.
All righty. Well, the show is almost over. So with about 2 minutes to go, we're coming down to the wire. The NBA finalized the new finals format to 2-2-1-1-1. Good thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what everyone was hammering for. That's really what they wanted, and it should work out for the Miami Heat when they win 3 in a row. The National League playoffs will begin tomorrow as the Cincinnati Reds take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Reds throwing Cueto, Pirates going Liriano. Who you got?
I'm going with the Buccos, Pittsburgh Pirates. Like that team this year. Chris Letang out for the Penguins. Crucial?
Yeah, that's huge. Their defense really relied on him, and with their problems in goal, I don't really know where they're going to go. Washington Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin started the Olympic torch ceremony this weekend in Russia. It'll go across the entire country into Sochi. Adam, if you were carrying that torch, would you do anything special?
I'd probably smile, but who knows? You're in Russia.
Okay, where do we mess up, Dan?
is that it's the Buffalo Sabres, not the Buffalo Bills, Josh. Hate to break it. But
hey, you know what?
You did get the right city.
You know what? That's my mistake. For everyone here at OSU, I'm Josh K, Adam Robsick, Dan North. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. Have a good night, Oswego.